Come on! Unity is a web series filmed and edited by Emily Jansen as she lives in her vehicle, traveling the United States and documenting the many other types of alternative living, exposing audiences to the growing change in perspective and lifestyle for a common unity.
So we are here in Siler City, North Carolina, and we're on the grounds of Carolina Forest Gardens. I've been out here since February. I'm kind of keeping it a little under the radar. You know, there's so many people who are so interested in this that it would just be like, oh, everyone wants to come, which would be fantastic. It's just that right now I can only spend 3 days out here a week. So I'm waiting until that changes, which will change soon, and I can put more of my energy into this and be, you know, at least one solid individual who's always here kind of curating this in the direction I want to take it. And so once I get to that place, then yeah, I do want to open up for more volunteers and then eventually develop a more formal internship and invite long-term residents to come. For the present moment, I'm just trying to put together basic infrastructure because we purchased this property in February. It's 10 acres of land, which is mostly just young forest and absolutely no infrastructure whatsoever, no electricity, no water. I'm not sure if you can see behind us, but I've been slowly working on creating some type of reasonably functional water situation, which is mostly involving just collecting rainwater in large tanks and allowing us to do the building that I'm doing, which requires water because it's earthen building, and also doing all the other things you do with water, like wash things. I've built a shed so we have some sort of like shelter, and today we've been doing some cob building a bathroom. Another reason why I can't really have many volunteers here or really open up those doors is because without any sort of improved septic system or way to dispose of human waste, that can become very problematic very fast and is also quite illegal. It's a constant struggle. It's a beautiful struggle. I really love it, which is why I am doing it. And I think the only reason that I have, you know, knowing myself and my personality, the only reason I have been able to just like come back day after day and just keep working, even though like sometimes all I accomplish is just not taking a step back. What keeps me from becoming so frustrated that I give up is just that, I do really care about what this represents to me, which is living in a way which is copacetic with the earth. So I studied sociology, and I've always been interested in social structures and just the way that we live and interact and all the repercussions of that on the environment. And we do have quite a large ecological footprint, and so a big part of this for me is developing the community aspect and experimenting with social structures which will intentionally bring us more in harmony with the wider ecology of this planet. Yeah, some of the struggles that I have experienced beginning this project are, well, a big one is the legality of doing something like this. When I first was looking into starting this, I actually was really anxious about that because I thought it was going to be like red tape at every tiny little thing that I wanted to do, because a lot of what I want to do is somewhat experimental and, you know, not the cookie cutter standard of how property is developed. And the laws really, in a lot of ways, are mostly designed just to funnel people into the standard. You know, I can understand coming from that place and how it does help to standardize, but at the same time, that becomes problematic on, you know, say my end, where I'm like, hey, I really have like good intentions, and I just want to, you know, experiment with alternative systems of building or, you know, living and things of that nature, and I can't because it's illegal. My experiences with community living are what inspired me to start this project. I was, before this, living in a community in Thailand. It's called the Panya Project. I personally had been transformed, and it also was where I learned to do basically all I know so far about natural building, and that's a continuing process of education. I don't see my role in this, even though right now I'm kind of like the main person working on this, as being some sort of like dictatorial force, because I can't do it by myself. I can't manage 10 acres of really intensive production, which is what I would like this to end up being, all by myself. So yeah, my role I think is just to curate, to keep myself open for impassioned and intelligent and skilled people to come and interweave skills until we've kind of created I guess a sort of human ecosystem that is also working in harmony with the surrounding environment. In my travels in recent years, I feel like I've really experienced this grassroots kind of groundswelling of energy and people kind of becoming more and more interested in this. And so what I'm trying to create is just sort of a node or a resource base in which we can all experiment in moving away from a system which really deteriorates the environment. And I don't feel that, I'm going to solve all the world's problems out here, but I feel like if all over the world we start to create these small little nodes and these small pieces of the puzzle that are addressing that and taking just a tiny little bit of that pressure off on all around, then, in the end that'll create a massive effect. If I had any sort of advice for someone who was attempting to move in this direction but didn't quite know how to, that's the thing. This movement is a very localized and grassroots movement, and I guarantee you, no matter where you are on this planet right now, if you look and you ask people and you look on the internet, you will find a space close to you. So that would be one thing I would tell people, is just start asking around, just put the intention out there of like, I want to find a place close to me where this is happening, and you will.